What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. So it's another day, another Drake. So apparently, how Drake just got humiliated and trolled by Kendrick Lamar again. Now, this is another video from Fantastic Hip Hop. Now, if you're new to the channel, definitely like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video under both the 5K. Appreciate all the members. And if you have any suggestions, any topics you want to hear, definitely let me know in the comments. Trying to, gauge and see what it is that we can, build upon. But yeah, the comment section is open. But let's go ahead and get into this, shall we?
Right now, we are witnessing yet another crash out from Drake, and it seems like this time around. As Drake has already tried so many different strategies to earn respect back from people and failed, which have ranged from dropping music, to sending out more subliminal disses at his enemies, to even just showing up on them in person, which he did laughably when he tried to intimidate DeMar DeRozan. When it comes to strategies to save his career, it seems like Drake is all out of ideas, as he is not even finding new ways to claim the title of the most pathetic rapper in the game right now, and instead, at this moment, he is just heating up the same old things that he has done before and is trying them yet again. Which, while this strategy in of itself just shows a fundamental lapse in judgment and decision making, which considering how Drake's 2024 has went as a whole, just shouldn't be a surprise, somehow the execution of this all on Drake's end is even more laughable than the idea is in the first place. As what Drake has done now is that as the rap game has been heating up, and from people like Tyler the Creator to J. Cole, more MCs have been outside and making noise for whatever projects they have been showing the world. Drake has tried to put the spotlight back on him by dropping a social media post where he showed off his new hair, which the fact that this is even a headline is sad.
It really is. For a rapper, you mean to tell me you're making headlines from your hair? Your hair as a male rapper? Ah. That's what people don't understand. Like, what's crazy is whenever I hear certain Drake stands and they have certain rebuttals, it's just all like, okay, are you not seeing what is happening? Like you may be a fan and you might be biased to what's going on, but if you put your biases aside, this instead of dropping music, he'll drop a meme or he'll do some cryptic stuff or the music that he is dropping. I think he even dropped the video for No Face, and that didn't do great, compared to his other stuff, and that's what we're putting Drake against himself. Like this isn't comparing him to anybody else. That's what a lot of the Drake stands don't understand. We're comparing Drake to Drake, and he's not holding up against himself, and you can make arguments, well, other artists don't, such and such, but no, that's the case, but not the case in this particular situation. He done dropped 100 gigs of stuff. He done dropped a lot, and this was a clear example of where quantity does not outweigh quality. He done dropped a lot of stuff, and it shouldn't matter whether it was in the vote or if it was old, as far as like years old, it should still be able to drop. If Drake is the king as he makes himself out to be, and do numbers at any point. Because I'm pretty sure if prior to this beef, if Drake dropped any of that stuff that he dropped after the beef, it would have hit. But his everything took a nosedive. Man.
And just shows how depraved of any depth anything Drake has to offer beyond the surface really is. And now before we look at what Drake did that's somehow even lamer than this, be sure to leave a like on this video and make sure you are subscribed, it helps me out a ton. But now, what's so pathetic about what Drake did here is the caption of this post, which first has Drake referencing the label he is from, which has taken so much away from him because of awful contracts that are written against his favor in Cash Money Records. And then Drake compares himself to Lil Wayne when he had dreads, which, while Drake putting himself in the same sentence right now as prime Lil Wayne is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
good for Drake that he's trying to unify with the only rapper who even has the slightest chance of helping him in this moment in time. And now closing this post out and what is supposed to be a clear message that he is trying to send to his rivals, and specifically Kendrick Lamar once again, is the final line in this post, which says, "I passed up on offers you would have passed out over." And now, as Drake posted a
Wow.
screenshot from Rush Hour in this post, which, if we remember, that is the film where the Kung Fu Kenny character comes from, it's clear that Drake is once again, and for some reason, trying to taunt and act like he is above Kendrick Lamar, and now with the caption, this seems to be a direct reference to the Super Bowl, which Kendrick is of course playing. And
Oh my goodness. This is so childish, man. Like it is levels of petty where it's just all like this is supposed to be hip hop, I guess in 2024, who knows what some of these rappers would have did in the 90s with access to social media. Like I don't know, man. It's weird, like but you see some artists do this, but not a lot of artists are doing this, There was some video that I was looking at and it was all like they're telling, aspiring artists, that the whole mystery thing, is kind of dead. Now, mystery comes in different ways. Some people would be like, well, Kendrick is mysterious. I think that living in peace and showing out when you need to, because when you're someone like a Kendrick or a Drake, like Drake doesn't need to post as much as he posts, but he either likes it or it's a way to, continue to brand, which is some of the things that I struggle with. That's why, as much as I get on Drake, there's certain aspects where I'm just all like, oh, that was a dope move, I give props where props are, but an overwhelming amount of the stuff that he does is just all like, you know, I eat the 100 gigabytes. Great idea. You know, at this particular time, though, it just seemed like a cover up. Of course, the fans are gonna love it either way. And I think that a lot of artists that are his level or bigger or below, if they have it, do something like that. Great idea. But how he posts and how he interacts is interesting. It's just a point at a time. But then you look at someone like Kendrick, or even someone kind even Kanye posts a lot on social media, but that's the thing is when you are able to be independent and do something like Kanye, have an ad in the freaking last Super, just different things like that, and then have it all go to you. But again, that was a lot of stuff to get to that point. I find myself struggling with the amount that I post that is not music related versus the amount of posts that are just random, my personality, different things like that, because I want the music to be able to stand test the time, But I wouldn't say but because there's plenty of artists that do not have to post every single day, and they still have relevancy. But, their moves or the moves of someone tied to them keeps them in the thing where they really don't have to, say much. But someone like a LaRussell, I seen him post something like it took me 5,000 posts to get invited to do Tiny Desk, and a lot of people may look at that and be like, oh, 5,000 posts in general. And I'm just like, no, it was 5,000 posts related to his music. And that's what is difficult because you don't want to appear. There's so many things that, go into it that artists like a Drake or Kendrick, don't really have to, do, which is why Drake maneuvering the way that he's maneuvering and not just taking the time to make music, but instead to drop these subliminals online and get coverage, breaking news side coverage of his hair, of his hair. What? What? You know what I mean? So it is, and then to take shots at seemingly Kendrick because, Drake likes to do these subliminals. And it's just all like, what does that actually do? Does that really do something to your ego? Because it makes, and I guess some people really are like that, I mean, I may have met people in person that may have had characteristics similar, but to be on that level of delusion, it's just all like, nah,
Now, in
man.
more of an in your face fashion than we have ever seen, Drake is trying to convince us that he has passed up on playing the biggest event in music, and again is acting like while this is a casual thing for him that he just didn't want to do. That it's this thing that Kendrick Lamar, for example, is just in awe about, and again, while this is already ignoring the fact that Kendrick has already played the Super Bowl in the past,
Right.
Drake coming with this angle like he is bigger and better than the Super Bowl, which is an event that no single artist, or really person for that matter, is bigger than. Just look at the viewership to back it up. Overall, this mindset is just weird and shows Drake's disconnect from the culture. But now, what
Yeah.
makes all of this situation even funnier is that in this moment where he is trying to be intimidating and make some sort of noise so that people will just look at him without laughing again, Kendrick Lamar has gotten the best of him without even knowing it yet, because we also found out right when Drake made this post that apparently in the industry something major is about to happen on Kendrick Lamar's new album. As beyond everything we have already heard, now reports are telling us that none other than Taylor Swift is going to be featured on this upcoming record. And now,
Wow.
while this claim is wild, and usually with reports like these,
It's wild, but they've also already worked together. And we do have to take into consideration uh Taylor Swift's connection with football at this point with her partner. This video is sponsored by yours truly, Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. And for the month of October on my Mr. Composition Music YouTube page, I am doing one-shot music video a day. So, for 31 days, there will be a new one-shot video, and the goal is to get that channel to 1,000 subscribers. So, make sure to check that out, subscribe, show some love to the videos, and drop a comment, man. Let me know that you came from this channel. But anyways, guys, back to the video. And so that may lead to an interesting thing as far as the Super Bowl. Like, her way of like getting it to perform in the Super Bowl without like without like those two days, like that would probably break the dang on internet. And what kind, but that even makes me think though, like when is this album about to go? Because some people may think like, oh, it's strange, da, da, da. But don't forget, there's a version of Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe that was supposed to feature Lady Gaga. And the parts that we hear, I think it's Janae Aiko, but like that voice and different things like that. So there could be aspects of that in this new album. I'm just trying to think, like, man, like it's different from Kendrick being on the Bad Blood track, I think is the track that he was on. Um, but her being on a Kendrick Lamar album, that makes me think. Like it's just making me think because I was looking back at reactions, and I was looking back at the Not Like Us music video and that reincarnation track and just hearing the different stuff that have been coming out, and I'm just like I'm really trying to piece together where Taylor Swift would even fit in that. That's wild. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. That's got me thinking, but I'll leave this video in the description for y'all to check out the full thing. But what do y'all think about Drake's post? What do y'all think about Taylor Swift being on Kendrick's album? Again, they've already collaborated, but what do you think of her being on this album and her connection as far as with football and something, potentially happening at the Super Bowl? Let me know what y'all are thinking. But it's with composition and MC that writes fiction. Back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 5K. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all.